All right, let's talk about how to tackle a TEI question. So, first things first, what is a TEI question? So, a TEI question is not a normal multiple choice question. It's going to ask you to do something that's a little bit different, like drag and drop. There might be a hotspot where you have to click on an answer choice from a bunch of different choices, or it could be a multiple choice question that has more than four options. Luckily, you have seen this type of question before on benchmarks and probably tests that your teachers have given you, and they've definitely worked to get you super prepared for these. So, what we're going to talk about right now is just some kind of general tips and tricks for if you come across a TEI question. So, first off, why do you think that these questions often confuse students? Why do you think that these are usually the most missed questions? You can take a minute to talk about this with some folks around you or just to think quietly. Instead of getting nervous when you see these questions, imagine if you had a way to help you tackle them. So, the first thing that we're going to look at in tackle is T. Take your time. These questions are probably going to take you a little longer to answer than normal multiple choice questions. That's okay. In fact, it should take you a little bit longer. So when you see a TEI question, remind yourself that you need to slow down, that it might take you a little bit longer to answer it, and that is not only okay, but it is encouraged. Next thing, A, analyze the directions. The directions in TEI questions are especially important. I'm sure your teachers have talked about that this year. Pay close attention to how you need to answer the question because remember, these are not the typical four-answer multiple choice questions. The directions will tell you whether you need to pick one answer or multiple answers. So, for example, it may say choose the best answers with an S, and that would tell you that you need to pick more than one. If it just says choose the best answer, you would only need to choose one answer. Okay, C, check for clues. This is kind of what we just talked about. The directions may contain clues that tell you how many answers to select. Remember, look to see if it's plural or singular. Also, look at any graphics. That means pictures or might be a photograph, some type of chart or graph that go along with the questions. They can give you clues as well, and they can help you make a prediction about what the question is going to ask you. K, know what it's asking you to do. Make sure you understand how to answer the question. Revisit and reread the directions if you need to. If you don't know what it's asking you to do, you're not going to be able to answer it successfully. So go back, reread the directions if you're confused. L, look at the answer choices. Look at the different choices or the different ways that you could answer the question. Make sure that you understand them completely. So remember, if it's telling you that you need to choose more than one, you're going to need to look at those answer choices a little bit differently because you know that it's not just one that you might pick. E, evaluate each choice. Decide which choice or choices should be your answer, and then select them. Remember, this might ask you to select them in different ways. You might have to drag it somewhere. You might have to click on more than one. You might have to put something in a different place. So just make sure you know what the choices are and you choose the best one. Okay, so that is tackle. Be sure and practice this before you get to the SOL test. I'm sure your teachers will give you lots of opportunities to practice these questions. And also, when you get to a TEI question, remember, don't sweat it, just tackle it.